Okay, so here's our problem. So a few numbers you're gonna want to remember to like plug in to find to like actually graph this is 0, 1, and then the base. That should be like whenever you're graphing any equation, you should probably like remember this. So we're gonna plug in 0 plus 3 to find the asymptote, and then this will just give us this will just give us -3. So we know the vertical asymptote is -3. After we do this, we're gonna wanna graph the parent function, and we know that the parent function is gonna be log beta of x. So it's basically whatever this is, and then you just want to like remove all this like +3 and +2. So after you do this, you're gonna want to do x and y and make a little table. You're gonna want to plug in 1 and then the base, which is here 8. So when we plug in 1, anything that gets like turned to 1 that's an exponent, the y is obviously going to be 0, because anything to the 0, because anything when it equals 1 is going to be 0, which is like a common thing you should know. And then we're going to want to plug in 8. So when we plug in 8 for x, we get log base 8 of 8, which actually just equals 1 because they cancel each other out. And then when we do this, this is our table. So we're going to graph this parent function. So let me just make a quick little graph here. Okay. So after we have these values, we can find 1 and 0. So let's just say this is like a 2 point, because I'm too lazy to like add 10 parts. So you can like, this will be our first point on the graph of 1 and 0, because x is 1 and 1 is 0. So this will be our x-intercept. And after we find our x-intercept, this is going to be a point on our graph. So when x equals 8, so 2, 4, 6, 8, y is going to equal 1. So we can do this. And then we also know that since it's log 8 literally just equals x and 0, this would just mean that this whole thing, that the vertical asymptote right now would be 0. So our function would look something like this, our parent function. So after we find the parent function, we just have to apply the transformation. So since we know that it's log 8 of x plus 3, we can move it 3 back to right here. Oh, let me just change the color. Because we know that the vertical asymptote is x plus 3. And then we can just substitute these values in. So instead of 1 and 0, we're just moving the function back. So wherever your 1 is, you're going to want to subtract it by 0. You're going to want to subtract it by 3, in which case we get 2. So we're going to make a point at 2. After we make our point at 2, we also have to subtract our 8 by 3, which gives us 5. So we go from 5, so we go to 5 to 1. So let's see, 2, 4, 6. So it'd be like something like this. Because this should be exactly 8 away, just like this should be like 7 away from 1, so it should be somewhere right here. So there we go. There's our function. I don't know if I explained it that well, but